Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a personality tarot reading for RIIZE member for Wonbin. So yes, this is going to be dedicated to him. So let's begin with the cards that he got. We start with the archetype cards. He got the cards of Detective, the Goddess, Distractor, Alchemist in Reversed, and Adventure. And then I pulled two extra cards from the tarot, and he got the card of the heart chakra and Four of Swords. So, yeah, let's begin. Definitely, I sense from these cards, especially with the card of the heart chakra, I was like, oh, the guy is very sensitive. Um, I know he's a very handsome guy. I believe he is the visual. Um, but nevertheless, I do get that he is he's you know I don't know how his personality is, because I haven't watched interviews or something like this to sort of observe his character. But probably he's a bit much softer than people think. There's something about him being very, like, almost, I would say, like he's too sensitive. But this is something that honestly I had been when I pull cards for RIIZE, that back then I used to call it Suntaro's group, because I didn't know what they were going to be called. I often mentioned that I got that these guys were going to be very emotional group, probably um, a lot of sensitivity, a lot of, I don't know why I get that they could cry, like they could get emotional in front of a camera very often. Not in a sad way, not in a, oh, like, oh, I'm depressed or I'm sad. More like, oh, I'm very profound, and I do feel very deeply, and I contain myself. So yeah, I definitely do get this vibe of him. We start with the detective archetype. So I believe that definitely the guy probably is a good observer. He doesn't say much. Probably he doesn't like to interrupt people, or maybe he doesn't express himself that much. He's much more about, sort of taking his time to get to know people, observe the place, read the room. He probably is very good at, sort of getting a deep understanding about what is needed of him. And also, he is very good at observing maybe his colleagues or other people. He's very good at finding out things about the people that he surrounds himself with. Probably he's also very curious. I would say, like, he really wants to get to know people deeply. But I think that nevertheless he can be a bit like, reserved about it, not going straight to you. I mean, like, or asking you questions about your life. He can be a bit like mysterious in that sense. It's sort of like collector of information, because he's curious. He's curious about, people's nature, why people behave the way they do, why they do the things they do. There's something about him really being interested, maybe in group dynamic, or how can we work better with each other, how can we be better. He sort of like is able to pick up, like, okay, why is this member acting this way, or why is these people telling me this. I don't know if he's the leader. I don't think he's a leader, but I think that he has this capacity to be a good observer. So definitely I would encourage him to share what he knows, because actually his observations are very good. He's very good at judging people, so I would take his points of view very seriously, because he does have a gift. Then yes, next to it, we have the goddess archetype. So definitely, yeah, like I was mentioning, I'm pretty sure he's one of the visuals, and definitely this is, I would say, this is one of the main reasons why he was chosen. And with all these archetypes here, like, like around him, I would say that yeah, he definitely uses his beauty. He is someone that he stands out, in a group or in a crowd of people because of how beautiful he is, how soft he is, how um, harmonized, his features are, and there's also his attitude. He's very good looking. But seeing the goddess in the middle of all these cards, I'm like, definitely there's a conflict within him when it comes to beauty or being perceived beautiful, because he does get a lot of archetypes of profundity. So I wonder if it's a bit uncomfortable for him being called beautiful, or always being like, um, sort of being remembered by his looks. He's like, I'm so much more than this. I am very, I have other traits as well. So, but yeah, definitely his career, in the industry that he's in, um, the beauty or your appearance is very important. So yeah, he does have this very harmonized beauty. He's also very attractive, very Venusian, very soft. But yeah, then in the middle we have the archetype of the distractor. So I would say he could from time to time, and probably, um, as his career progresses, he could actually want to get away a bit from the quote unquote the pretty boy, persona. I believe he wants to get away from this perception. There's something about him being like, yeah, I know I'm beautiful, but at the same time, I'm much more than this. And there's something about him wanting to destroy or challenge that image. He wants to be seen as something else more than, oh, I'm visual or I'm beautiful. So here with the card of destroyer, the archetype of destroyer, I definitely could see him like challenging some aspects of himself. There's something about him, sort of like, yeah, like him being like always, there's this conversation about like, yeah, because you are the face of the group, or you're beautiful, or you're beautiful, your beautiful face, your beautiful this, and he's a bit like against this. There's something about him. I wouldn't say he wants to sabotage his image, but there's something about like, I cannot wait to sort of get into a concept where my beauty doesn't matter that much, or where I can be beautiful but in a different way. Like I can show my beauty from different angles, and not, there's something probably about him, maybe he is not that into having to take care of himself, like in the sense of, because guys, like even though the idols are beautiful, definitely they do have a stylist, and they do have a lot of skincare and a lot of like beauty routines to look the way they look. Some, it's not that they just get up and they are just always beautiful and ready. They have people that work on them. Of course, that being naturally pretty is very, it makes maybe the stylist work a bit simpler, easier. But I believe that there's something about him, like maybe he's like, I don't like the process of getting ready. I don't like to wear makeup, or I don't like to get my hair done. Like there's something about him really like sort of like being a bit rebellious, here with the distractor archetype, about the whole beauty industry. So there's something that tells me here that for him, sort of like being beautiful or being remembered by being beautiful, it's a whole, it's very heavy and it's annoying. I would say there's something about him being like, I have to take care of myself so much, or I have to be dependent on this, and I have the stylist always on me, and I don't like it. I want to set myself free from this. So yeah, I wonder what's that about, because it mustn't be easy, to have all these people around you, touching you, like, and being in your face, and also like arranging your hair, and it's like it's their job, of course. But here with the distractor, I would say that there's a part of him that he sees it like negative, that he doesn't integrate it. It's not something that he's like, wow, I love it, because also he has the alchemist in reverse. So even though, he's a guy that probably with his beauty, he could, with the archetype of the alchemist, also, he could do so much, or he could transform so much. Here with the archetype also in reverse of the alchemist, there's something about him not being able to actually do something with his image. And it's not about him not being able to do something. I think he doesn't want to. Maybe, there's some people that are visuals and they are very proud of being the visuals. But I would say in his case, it feels uncomfortable. It feels like whatever idea he has on his mind about the role he plays or about what he does is like the one that I do care the least is being handsome or is being beautiful. I want to be remembered by something else. I have other talents, something like this. And I would say he's very serious about it. So yeah. Then he has the archetype of the adventure. So yeah, he also has this part of himself where he's very protective of others, and definitely there's something about him wanting to become an idol, or someone in the industry very influential, so he can help others, and actually like being a good influence for others. There's something about him wanting to um, protect people that don't have as many opportunities as he does. I don't know his background, but there's something about him being sort of like him wanting to advocate for people that cannot defend themselves, so he feels very strongly about this. Like he would want to do some humanitarian work. I definitely do see him like wanting to help people in need. And maybe this is the reason why he doesn't want to be just a pretty face. He wants to be more, because definitely his soul wants this. He wants to be remembered by doing much more than just sitting there and being pretty. For him, it's like, I want to help. And I want to be strong to speak up about matters that, or aspects of life that are challenging, and I want to be there to help. He sort of wants to be like a spokesperson for the people in need. So I wonder what's that about. I wonder, maybe if in his past, or maybe his family or people around him had suffered some kind of injustice, some kind of being treated unfairly. But definitely there's something about him like, okay, when I become famous, I'm going to change this, but yeah, definitely here with the alchemist also in reverse, I think that it's going to take a while for him to actually get to where he wants to be, because um, like there's something inside of him. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that sometimes he gets angry at himself, and I believe that for him it's a bit complex to recognize anger inside of him. Like he probably, is this guy that he's very sensitive, he's very polite, he's a good guy. But there's also a part of him that is very, like, he's sort of dissatisfied. He's not satisfied with certain things, or he doesn't agree with certain things. He's sort of like against certain things. So he sort of is trying to repress from now, to say something. He's like, I shouldn't respond like this, or I shouldn't be thinking or feeling like this. But I believe that eventually this rebellious side is going to come out. Um, it's just that now he's in the stage where he's like, I'm just starting, like, I shouldn't cause trouble. But there's something about him, there's something inside of him that I believe that wants to scream. wants to scream, wants to, sort of be against something. So I don't know what is it about. I don't know what, um, maybe he feels the pressure of the training and the pressure of a lot of people, like, being very authoritative over him. And on the inside, it looks like he's adaptable, like he adapts because he's a very smart guy. But then I believe that his plan, his desire is to do the opposite of what is expected of him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he changes with time. Because there's something about him wanting to be himself, him, and him also like probably not being so comfortable with some aspects of fame, maybe. So yeah. But yeah, then with the heart chakra and with the card of the Four of Swords, see, there's something about the guy being very sensitive, and also him sort of, I would say that he's protecting his heart and he's trying to not get that emotional or emotionally attached to situations. He's trying to, not take things personally, not to get so much so emotional. He tries to contain his emotions, but he's a very sensitive guy, and he's someone that follows his heart. It's just that maybe for this industry to be this sensitive or to be this empathic, sometimes it can put him in a very vulnerable position where he feels a bit unstable or misunderstood. Um, and pressured because it's all about achievements and it's all about being competitive with others. It's all about being the best, and he's like, I don't think he's that ambitious. I think that he just happens to be naturally um, attractive. I would say he gets the opportunity in a very like he doesn't have to beg for attention. He gets it, and he's very, very humble about it. And probably he sees other people trying to hurt, and he's like, I'm not like that. Like, I'm not that obsessed with recognition. Then with the Four of Swords, um, yeah, I definitely think that he should try to, sort of like calm down a bit his emotional side, and probably try to protect himself emotionally, because with the Four of Swords, I definitely do see him being very vulnerable to maybe other people's opinion, him getting very, very frustrated all of a sudden. So yeah, with the Four of Swords, I would advise him to take it slow and to not take it personally. The Four of Swords is like here in this deck is called the keyword is just breathe. So I honestly think that he should, take a moment to take a deep breath, slow down, and not get too caught up into what people say. Do not get that emotional or do not get that out of control of your emotions. Like just remain in there. Do not let them disturb you with their comments or with their demands. I would say there's a lot of demands, a lot of conversations that he feels like very uncomfortable listening to some people, um, because I believe that he's so sensitive that he can sense when people are being fake. So and probably he doesn't like it that much. It feels like he gets very uncomfortable, and it's very visible how he gets uncomfortable with some people. It's like he cannot fake it. But yeah, in this business, definitely he will have to sort of like regulate himself emotionally a bit and not putting his heart, so exposed, so open. It's great that he has feelings and all, but yeah, he should take care of himself, take a break, take distance from people or situation that make him feel a bit like nervous, or like uncomfortable. So yeah, this is all I have for him today. I hope that you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.